Hello everyone. We are back with another tutorial on interviewing skills, something that we already practiced in the class, but now we are going for a short tutorial on that. We are going to talk about the types of interviews. How do you prepare for the interviews? What are the traditional and difficult questions, and what are the do's and don'ts of the interviews? A lot of times nowadays we go for computer mediated interviews. That means that the interviews are either done on Skype or on Zoom. And here, usually people who are long distance, they can go for a more one-on-one type of question and answer session. And based on that, people make their employment decisions that whether they want to hire you or not. This can be synchronous, that means at the same spot, or delayed, uh, asynchronous, that means that they will do it at a different time. In synchronous interaction, both the interviewee and interviewer must participate in the interview at a fixed time, so that me and you can fix a time, and then we can have a interview together. In the asynchronous one, you record yourself for 2, 3, 4 minutes, you record your interview, and that video goes to the employer, and then decide that whether they want to hire you or not. There are different types of interviews. For example, there are screening interviews, but screening interviews help the companies shortlist the people. It saves their time and money. You don't need to go there. Sometimes they might ask you to have a NCQ based test or fill an online form, or maybe ask you to send an asynchronous type of a video, so that they can narrow down that whether they want to call you or not. Usually a next interview takes place after the screening interviews. Then the next one which is there is the hiring or the placement interviews. That after you have been screened, after you have been shortlisted, they usually see that whether you are suitable for the job or not. After they have shortlisted from about agar 50, they shortlisted 10. Now 10 will go for the placement interview. These placement interviews can be one on one, that means one interviewer and one interviewee. It can be panel interviews, that means you might have a 3 to 4 people panel, and they might be taking your interviews. They can be group interviews in which many people are giving interviews together. As I said, one on one, where is the only one interviewer and one interviewee. Panel interviews where there are many interviewers, many people taking the interviews, and you are alone giving your interview. Group interviews means there are many candidates sitting together and they are being interviewed at the same time. A lot of GDs takes place here, like group discussions kind of there, and people see that whether you have leadership skills or not. Then we have the sequential interviews, which are planned to enable number of meetings, that you might go for number of meetings as well. For example, you go there, you have a group interview, then you have a panel interview, and then you have a one-on-one interview. So they have a sequence of interviews that take place maybe on the same day, maybe on different days. Then as I said, the group interviews are usually very uncommon. You don't take There aren't many. We usually people go for one-on-ones. They take one candidate at one time as well. If you are preparing for the interview, the first thing to do is to find out about the company, learn about the company, learn about the position, so that you know what you are applying for, you know what you are getting into, and you can show them that you are ready to join their firm. You should clean up all of the digital dirt. People go and they see your social media. Your social media should not have any negativity. Nowadays, people feel that, what's with the social media? We can post anything. It's not like that. Social media shows what you are. Social media shows what you think, what is your behavior, what are you thinking. No matter what you post, it shows what you believe in. You should always prepare some notes on your strengths and weaknesses. You should have some of the hypothetical stories with you, or some, though not exactly hypothetical, but you should remember some of the things in which you show your leadership qualities, some of the show where you help help resolve a conflict. Some of the common questions usually are, tell us about yourself. So that does not mean you tell them your name and your education and everything that is in your CV. Tell them something new about yourself. You should always dress professionally. You should think about your strengths and weaknesses and some of the incidents that has happened. Major don'ts: don't wear a lot of shiny, dangling, or loud stuff. Do not wear a lot of makeup. Do not eat anything. Do not interrupt the people taking your interview. And never say anything negative about your ex employee or ex employer or your current employer. Never say anything bad about anyone, and never say anything negative as well. You should never emphasize too much on the salary benefit. You should ask them once, and but you negotiate as well. I mean, it's not that you should not negotiate. You may negotiate, but you should see that you are not asking too much. It's always better to go to LinkedIn, to go to the social media, and find out whether what is the current trend, and you should see that what is the average that a person like you is getting, so that you can negotiate a little, but don't emphasize too much on that. Do not criticize or complain a lot if you feel that the person taking your interview is saying is going is do not don't if he is not agreeing with you, you don't need to really prove him wrong over there. I mean, you can say that, okay, you say this, I say this, it's fine, we can have a difference of opinion. You should always put your phone on silent. You should not ask them to repeat the same question and again and again. I mean, and you should be confident when you are speaking. This was a bit about the online interviews that we go for. If you have any further questions in regard to interviewing skills, you can always comment below the video and I'll be happy to answer. Thank you.